What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Movie Homicide. Today is another horror talk, episode 3, and the topic today we're doing is or underrated slashers, and that's the topic. And all right, Greg, come on over. We're going to talk about our favorites and just some of the underrated ones, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of... They made 1 million slasher movies in the 80s, and, not all of them get the love that they should. And, they're still making good slasher movies that people don't talk about very much. So, yeah. Why don't you kick us off? What's your first?
Well, I got one. It's a card, but it's Slaughter High. You remember Slaughter High?
Oh, yeah, Slaughter High. That was a good one.
That was one I thought was pretty underrated. Yeah. It does not get any attention.
Yeah, no one.
I don't have it on Blu-ray, unfortunately. But I got the Fright Rags card. That's one I picked out. I just think it had some pretty creative kills. I thought the bathtub full of blood scene was cool.
That was cool, yeah.
And just pretty creative kills all.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was an interesting film for sure. I mean, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So that's my number one. What's your number one?
So mine aren't particularly in order. Well, I guess it kind of is, because my number one is a trauma film called Bloodhook.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Which is about I love it because it's about a killer who's a fisherman, and he slashes the people with his giant fishing lure, and then he puts them on a stringer under his dock. And it doesn't take itself seriously. It's great. It actually has a pretty good twist at the end that I didn't see coming, and it has to do with like music and like the 17-year locust. Because I remember watching that movie for the first time and being like, it starts with a flashback. And about this kid, and when he's little, and then he goes back when he's adult 17 years later. And I'm like, oh, that's oddly specific, 17 years, but it actually has to do with the locust and then the tritone.
It's a very odd concept, but it works.
It definitely works. It's excellent. I enjoy that movie a lot, and it's fantastic. If you can watch it, if you got trauma now, it might still be on Tubi. I definitely recommend Bloodhook. It's a very fun watch.
Yeah. So that's your number one.
That's my number one.
By the way, this was originally going to be a top 5, but there was just too many underrated slashers. So I'm going to go ahead. I decided to make it an episode. So next one for me, I'm going to go with Tourist Trap.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
that's a pretty underrated slasher.
That definitely is.
It's Chuck Connors, right?
Yeah, Chuck Connors. Yep.
He runs this shop.
What's her name? What's the actress's name? She was in Beastmaster. Oh man,
Julian Jones.
No, Tanya Roberts. Tanya Roberts is also in that movie.
Yeah,
which it's cool seeing her. One of her first movies.
Fun fact: this was Joe Bob Briggs' first movie he showed on the Marathon.
On the Marathon, 2018. Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought the mannequins, the whole concept of the mannequins was pretty creepy.
Are very creepy. Plus, I mean, spoiler alert, I guess, but the dude's a psychic, and that's how he marries people. So he's like telekinesis. Yes, so that's what kind of sets this one apart, also, which is cool.
It was very creative. It was put out by Full Moon Features, owned by Charles Band.
Oh, yeah.
And, it's just a really all fun movie and just weird.
I like it.
Riff Tracks ripped on it. Sleazy from Sleazy Pictures After Dark, he ripped on it. It's just a great film all in all. That's my number 2. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Don't Open Till Christmas.
Don't Open Till Christmas.
If you haven't seen Don't Open Till Christmas, it's by the same director, Edmund Pardum, who did Pieces. Which I like Pieces a lot too, but I think that one is a little better known than Don't Open Till Christmas.
It's got more of a cult following.
It definitely, for sure. But I mean, it's Don't Open Till Christmas is still great. I love it because it's a Christmas movie, obviously. But rather than like there being like the cliche of like the Santa Claus is the killer, like Silent Night, Deadly Night,
Silent Night, the remake.
Silent Night, the remake, exactly. What else have we got? Like the Tales from the Crypt
Christmas
episode.
Evil.
Yeah, Christmas Evil. There's a million of those. So this turns it on its head, where the killer is a psycho and he's killing people dressed as Santa, which I think is a nice, change from a Christmas movie.
Kind of.
Yeah, and so this guy is just going all around. I suppose it's set in London, just murdering random Santa Clauses, and it's really good. There's some really absurd scenes
where he tortures some of the people the London dungeon.
Mm-hmm, in the dungeon, yep. There's some absurd scenes in this movie. If you haven't seen it, I would definitely recommend it.
Yeah, that's your number 2.
It's my number 2.
All right. Well, let's see. What do I got here? This is my number 3. Intruder.
Ooh, nice. Yep, I like
About
Intruder.
the killer in the grocery store.
This one definitely is underrated. No one talks about this movie.
Nobody. It's
And
also
a great,
full moon feature.
It's a great movie too. I love this movie.
It stars Danny Hicks, and it also has Ted Raimi and Sam Raimi.
Ted Raimi.
in an
That's
acting
right.
role.
That's right.
They're small acting roles, but they're acting.
Doesn't it have what's her name? Emilio Estevez's sister in it also. I forget her name.
Yeah, Renee Estevez.
Renee Estevez. Yes, indeed. Yeah, that's a nice little addition there. That movie is a lot of fun. I
a lot of
enjoy that movie
creative kills.
Indeed. I mean, it's also like kind of doesn't play on the whole like I don't know. There's a bit of a twist.
It doesn't take it too seriously.
Yeah, it doesn't take itself too seriously. There's a bit of a twist. Like you think it's going to go one way, and then it goes the other. I won't spoil it. I would definitely recommend that movie for sure.
Yeah, this is Justin Osborne's art, who I'm a big supporter of.
Oh, nice.
He did that. Yeah. But yeah, that's probably my number 3 is Intruder. I just think it's a very fun movie, very creative, and you don't really see movies kind of like this anymore, and this kind of slapstick horror-esque.
Yeah, I mean that's why I picked Blood Book too. That movie doesn't take itself seriously at all. It's
But I think that's what's fun about it.
Oh, definitely. That's what makes it so much fun to rewatch.
Well, that's my number 3. What's your number 3?
My number 3, I'm gonna go. I rewatched it recently. I'm gonna go with Madman. Madman Mars, exactly. From 80 or 81, somewhere in there. It's the Cropsey legend, if you're familiar with that.
Yeah, Staten Island, right?
Yes, from Staten Island, New York, originally. Which it's not set on Staten Island; it's set in the woods somewhere. Which was,
and it's also a camp slasher.
It's a camp slasher for sure. I mean, I like camp slashers a lot. In general, we did our first talk on Friday the 13th. I love those movies. But yeah, this one's a good one. It's got some really good creative kills to it, and it doesn't ask a lot of you. It's literally just this madman mowing down teenagers in a camp. It's what's not to like about it?
Nothing other than it's just everything. Like it's just an awesome camp slasher.
Yeah,
like
it's a good one.
Like the kills, like with that guy getting trapped. That was cool.
Oh yeah, that was cool. How about the woman who gets her head cut off in the trunk of the hood of the truck? That was a good one.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of good ones.
It's a fun movie. It doesn't get talked about a lot. I would definitely say check it out.
Yeah, me too. I also would say check it out. But that's your number 3?
It's my number 3.
My number. Did I do my number 3? I think I did.
You did.
Yeah, I did. Number 4. I'm gonna go with. I already picked it. Maniac.
Oh, Maniac is good.
That guy who was in the last horror film, the trauma film. Well, this is Joe Spinell is the guy that was in that film. I haven't seen the last horror film, but it's a trauma film, and it has Joe Spinell in it. But
plus, you get to see Tom Savini get his head blown off.
Yeah, Tom Savini is Fun
He
Boy.
does the effects on there. Yeah,
his Fun Boy character just blows his head off.
Yeah, he gets his head blown, and he did the effects on himself. Blew his own
head
off.
You remember when he was on the last drive-in when they showed this? He was like, somewhere over there. There's probably still that car with the wire body.
Yeah, because it was like, if it was very much guerrilla,
in the river.
It was very much guerrilla filmmaking. They were in New York City.
They could have gotten in trouble.
They didn't have permits to film at all. It was totally guerrilla filmmaking.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's a good one. It has a really creepy ending. I won't spoil. It's pretty disturbing.
It also has to do with
mannequins. Yes, and
there's mannequins in it. Yeah.
Yes,
but the head splitting scene is worth watching alone.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's some of Tom Savini's
put out by Blue Underground.
Some of Tom Savini's best work for sure.
Yeah, this is the 30th anniversary,
and that's saying a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely. But that's my number 4. What is your number 4?
I kind of only have.
You want to pick from the bag?
Ooh, let's pick from the bag. I've probably seen
underrated slashers.
The bag of underrated slashers. Let's see what we got here. This is like.
You pick whatever.
What do we get? Oh, Funhouse. Funhouse is a good one.
Yeah.
That one doesn't get a ton of love there. That's
that's Tobe Hooper.
Tobe Hooper, which I love Tobe Hooper. So this one doesn't get a lot of talk. I mean, it gets overshadowed, I suppose, by Texas Chainsaw and Poltergeist. So this one's about these teens that get trapped in a fun house at night, and
they go decide to spend the night in a fun house.
Yeah, which and
then they get trapped.
Yeah, they get trapped in there, and of course there's a creepy monster guy in there.
Yeah, he's first seen he's wearing this Frankenstein mask, Frankenstein's monster mask.
He takes the mask off, and he's terrifying.
He's like this mouse fish.
Yeah, like half face split. I don't even know how to describe it.
Like mutant deformity.
Yeah. So yeah, that's I definitely enjoy that movie as well. That's very good.
Yeah. I would say, for my number 5, I don't have it, but I'm going to name it. You probably haven't seen it, but it's Adam Green's Hatchet.
No, I've seen I've seen one of the sequels, but I have not seen Hatchet.
That movie has some of the best kills in a long time. It's on Tubi. There's 4 films. But I like the first one because it has that kid from Grandma's Boy. I forgot his name.
Oh, yeah. I know you're talking about.
Thinks he's a robot.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
He's in that.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, I do need to see these movies. I've been meaning to.
Kane Hodder, he
Kane
plays
Hodder,
Victor Crowley.
Victor Crowley. Yep,
It all takes place in, the Louisiana swamps. It's definitely pretty cool. I think they call it the Honey Island Swamp. I believe.
Okay. Yeah, I need to watch these movies.
Yeah, you definitely got to check these out.
I haven't gotten around to it, so.
Adam Green saved the slasher genre, in my opinion. But, I'd say that'd be my number 4 or 5.
Yeah, number 5, yeah.
That's my 5.
I'll do one more. And I don't know, I don't know if this is actually underrated because it's new. Maybe it'll gain a lot of steam, but I just watched Totally Killer by Blumhouse.
Yeah. That's
and it's a time travel. It's like a Back to the Future. It's Back to the Future meets a slasher movie. It's about this girl who is in high school, and when her mom was in high school, her friends were all murdered by the Sweet 16 killer, and so she somehow gets thrown back in time, and she has to try to undo the murders. It's a horror comedy. It's very funny. I enjoyed it a lot. Like I said, I don't know if it's actually underrated because it's fairly new, but I haven't heard anyone talk about it.
Is it only on Netflix?
It's only on Amazon, I believe.
Amazon, okay.
And like I said, I haven't heard anyone talk about it. It's been out for about a year, and I'd never heard of it until last week.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe, I don't know, maybe it doesn't get talked about a lot. I didn't know anything about it, but I really enjoyed that movie. It was really funny. It had some cool kills in it. Yeah, I definitely recommend that movie. Unfortunately, it's only on Amazon, so.
There's one I heard of. I haven't seen, but I've seen it out when I was Blu-ray hunting. I would like to see. It has Adam Devine from Workaholics called Final Girls, and it's it's like a camp slasher.
Oh, that sounds good.
But I don't know much about it. But if you guys want to check it out, go look up the YouTube channel. It's called Final Girls. I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna go ahead and pick one of these.
All right, you do one more.
Here's one we both like.
That movie's great.
It's kind of an underrated.
I'm questioning how underrated it is.
I don't know.
It definitely has a cult following to it. I mean, just the ending alone.
I'd say the sequels have more of a
definitely. Those are a little more underrated for sure.
I'll tell you what.
I love the original. Don't get me wrong, but I think that one at this point is pretty.
It's pretty blown up now.
Yeah, it's a cult.
I'll tell you what. We'll redo that. I got to go with Uncle Sam.
Uncle Sam's great.
This is more of an underrated
that
slasher.
Definitely is.
This has
Isaac Hayes.
Isaac Hayes,
yeah.
And the slasher's basically, Uncle Sam,
the dead Marine or whatever.
Yeah, he's
that kid's uncle.
Yeah, and they showed this on the drive-in.
Yeah, they definitely did. Well, 4th of July special.
Yeah, this is a really good one. It says from the creators of Maniac Cop. Uncle Sam wants you dead.
That's right. I mean, it definitely feels like it does have the kind of a Maniac Cop feel to it, for sure.
Yeah, this is definitely the kills were pretty cool too.
Definitely.
I like the one where that politician guy spins around with the fireworks shooting out.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the best kills.
Definitely had some creative kills and kind of like a Maniac Cop, he's kind of also an unstoppable force. It seems like.
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely reminds you of Maniac Cop.
Would you say Maniac Cop's sort of underrated, or you say it's got its cult?
I mean, it definitely has a cult following, but you don't hear a lot of people talking about Maniac Cop. But
yeah,
I mean, it's I'd say it's pretty well loved at this point.
Yeah. There's just this is a hard one because there's a lot of slashers.
Yeah, they're definitely
and underrated slashers too.
They made so many of them.
All thanks to Halloween.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Halloween was.
I'd be remiss to not mention one of the proto original slashers, and that's Mario Bava's A Bay of Blood.
Yes,
I love A Bay of Blood.
I've seen that one.
And it doesn't get talked about enough, I don't think.
Bay of Blood, that's
a good one. Bay of Blood is fantastic. Like that, the opening alone just tells you what kind of movie it's going to be, because it's this old lady in a wheelchair who gets slashed immediately, but then someone comes and kills the guy who killed her, and that's just in the opening credits of this movie.
Oh yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. I love that movie. Like I said, kind of a proto slasher, kind of inspired the slashers to come. It came out in 1970. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mario Bava. So yeah, that's definitely
I love
one.
Beyblade. I just watched that one. For the
yeah,
first
I need to rewatch it. I haven't seen it in a couple
year.
years. I need to rewatch it. It's
I think
excellent.
it's still on Shudder.
I think it still is.
What about Deep Red?
Profundo Rosso, yeah, I mean that's
That's more Giallo.
That's more Giallo. I mean technically Giallos kind of are slashers because
that's what I was thinking because there is slashing.
You know, because they're slashing. They usually have like dark gloves and they have knives and like they don't usually have supernatural elements to them like until Argento came along and did like Suspiria or whatever or Phenomenon. Like usually it was just a guy murdering people. So I mean that seems like a slasher to me. I would include Giallo movies as slasher.
I like that.
For sure.
I'm going to go ahead and include those. And April Fool's Day is another one.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
You haven't seen that one?
No.
Oh yeah, that's one where a killer strikes this group or whatever. I haven't seen it in a very long time, so it's a little blurry. Okay. Another one is New Year's Evil.
Oh yeah.
You seen that one?
I don't think I have actually.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. People killing people on New Year's, copying the Halloween formula and the Friday the 13th formula.
Yeah, they all copied that same formula.
But that's any others you want to name?
Well, you said New Year's, and it reminded me of Terror Train.
Terror Train,
which people don't talk about Terror Train very much, and that movie is absolutely absurd. Like it's on a train on New Year's Eve. It's a revenge kind of slasher. A bunch of college kids getting kid getting revenge for a prank that was played on him, which we've seen before. But this one's got David Copperpot as the magician. Like they have an on-mission on board the train for some reason.
Yeah. And
he plays into the plot quite a bit. But that's a good one. It's they're all dressed up in costumes for some reason on New Year's Eve. Never really understood that. But it's got some good kills. It all takes place on the train. Jamie Lee Curtis, starring Jamie Lee Curtis.
One I kind of want to name. It's a trauma movie. I feel like it would be sort of a slasher, and that's Terror Firmer.
Yeah, Terror Firmer.
The killer on the trauma set.
Yes, that would. I mean, I would probably call that a slasher. I mean, why not?
Might as well.
That was an absurd movie.
That's the most messed up movie I have ever seen in my entire life.
There's a lot going on in that movie. Yeah,
if you want a good party movie, put on
Terror Firmer. Is definitely.
It's about a killer on a trauma set. And
that's all you need to know. I love Lloyd Kaufman as the director. He's basically playing himself. In that movie. He's a blind director. It's really funny too. Like it's funny. It's messed up. It's got a little bit of everything.
It's amazing.
It's a good movie. I definitely recommend it.
But that's pretty much like some of the ones I can think of. Was there any other ones you want to think?
I think we've kind of covered the bases here. I mean, there's so many we could go on forever. This
is one of the longer horror talks because there's just so many.
I mean, we could just keep on going here. But I think we've kind of covered it. People get the idea. I'll tell you what. Tell me your favorite underrated slasher in the comments down below.
Yeah, definitely let us know.
Yeah, what's your favorite? Maybe one we didn't mention. Maybe one we did mention. Yeah, let us know.
There's just so many out there. Like you go on Tubi, there's a ton. Like
that's what I love about Tubi's horror section is they have movies I've never heard of before.
Yeah, like there's a trauma one I need to see called Decapitated.
It's like camp
slasher. Sounds
pretty good to me.
Yeah, it's on Tubi. But anyway, guys, that's the end of the horror talk. If you guys like these, don't just like and subscribe. Let us know. I'll let Greg come back if you ever want to come back.
If you'll have me,
I'll definitely have you. You're a good guest, and I'll talking horror with you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So like I said, guys, like and subscribe. I'm trying to reach my goal of 100 subscribers. I'm almost there. I'm at 62. So let's do this. All right. I'll see you guys in the next one.